Okay, we're picking up again with disorders of aneuploidy. I know I started to mention it and then I kind of cut the video off. So these are those numerical errors. There's a wrong number of chromosomes. Either there's one and it's missing its pair, its mate in that pair, or there's three. There's an extra. Very, very occasionally you will see tetrasomy X, which is four X chromosomes, or pentasomy X. I'll mention it briefly, but I don't want you to rack your brains for it. It's rare. But these are the disorders that we will be talking about. On the sex chromosomes, we have Klinefelter's, Jacob syndrome, trisomy X. The trisomies 21, 18, and 13 are the most common. In their full form, mosaic, you could have probably any number of chromosome disorders, but those are the more common ones. Testing for chromosomal disorders. So, when do we offer testing? Now, just a note to the wise. You are going to see maybe 3, 4 slides on testing for chromosomal disorders, and they're going to look roughly the same. That's a pretty good clue to you that I am testing on this material. Prospective parents are often offered testing when they're considered to be high risk. So, one of the things that could make them at high risk is ultrasound findings of rocker bottom feet. Is characteristic of some syndromes, thickened nuchal fold, shortened femur length, chorioid plexus cysts, echogenic foci. There are different little markers that when you find them on a routine ultrasound, you know you need to look harder at something. So that is one indication for referral to testing. Another indication could be that there's advanced maternal age. So a mother who will be 35 or older at time of delivery, those balanced translocation carriers, if there's a history of developmental delay in the family, sometimes those folks will be offered testing, and also the people with recurrent miscarriages. It's not listed here, but those are people who could be referred for testing. Our invasive options are chorionic villus sampling, done between 10 and 14 weeks, and amniocentesis, usually done around 15 to 18 weeks. These directly test fetal cells, either in the chorionic villus or in the amniotic fluid. Prior to 15 weeks, it's usually not enough cellular material in the fluid to really analyze it. And that's what makes chorionic villus sampling better for early diagnosis. It's just a little bit more risky. So now with the invention of non-invasive prenatal testing, it can be offered to women who are not high risk. It might not be covered by insurance for mothers at low risk, but we could look for these disorders. At the moment, NIPS really is best at looking for trisomies, monosomy. It can identify the sex of the baby. So it's enticing to people sometimes to do this. It is about $400. It is not conclusive. If that baby is mosaic and you just happen to get the cell-free DNA from the cells that are normal, you might miss something, but it is an option now for people. It may get more sensitive as time goes on or more specific to different things. At the moment, it really tests for those trisomies 13, 18, 21. You can sometimes see Klinefelters or Turners on it. First trimester screen and quad screen, these are screens. They have high false positives, high false negatives. They test for pregnancy specific hormones and hormones that are secreted by the baby and the placenta, sometimes combined with ultrasound to calculate a risk score. Based on that risk, a woman could be offered more invasive testing. Now, those are all prenatal testing options. Some women decline all prenatal genetic screening because they feel that they would not do anything differently based on that information. So they may take the ultrasound, and if the ultrasound doesn't show anything, they decline it. Or they decline it even if the ultrasound does show something. So in those cases, if you are assessing a newborn and they appear to have some dysmorphic features, and we will talk about that in a separate video, you could get a karyotype, and that would give you, at least from the cells you sampled, the number of chromosomes and how they look generally. All right, so we're going to repeat non-disjunction. And when I'm redundant like this, And I've already discussed non-disjunction, and I offer it again. You are going to see it again. So this is an animated tutorial using Twizzlers to show how genes sometimes get stuck. Normal division looks like this. Some hokey background music here. That's a diploid cell, parent cell. It needs to divide twice in meiosis to become a mature egg or sperm. So we have chromosome 21 on the red. Yellow is all the other chromosomes. They had to multiply. You have 92 chromosomes in the cell. Now they get ripped apart in the M phase of meiosis 1. And the end result is the formation of two daughter cells identical to the parent cell. To become haploid cells, you have to rip that material apart again in meiosis 2, and you end up with half, one copy of each chromosome. That is a normal diploid cell. And the vast majority of the time, even in your older moms, that's what happens. But sometimes we see non-disjunction. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit. There we go. Back to our normal diploid parent cell. 21 again on the left. It's like the reddish-orange Twizzler. All the other chromosomes are the yellow ones. And they multiply. They duplicate. So you have twice as many. And then during M phase, they get pulled apart to opposite sides of the cell. A new cell wall separates them. You have two more diploid cells. Now they have to turn into haploid cells. So in meiosis 2, they are pulled apart again. But oh, look what happened here. Because we had an older egg, these two stuck together because the material was just that much more fragile. Maybe it unraveled a little bit and it got tangled up. So we have in a haploid cell that should have one copy of each chromosome, we have two. It's going to combine with another haploid cell from the other parent, usually the dad in that event. And then that cell will have a trisomy. Now there was one cell that was missing a chromosome 21. That one would end in early miscarriage. So Down syndrome, we will pick up on the next video. I think this one was long enough.